I'm Harrison Kelly with BYU-Idaho Radio, and I've got on the phone Susan Lopez. She's one of the owners of the Vampire Penguin in Idaho Falls. It just recently opened up a couple months ago. So Susan, welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you here. Excited to talk about this interesting and unique business that just opened up in Idaho Falls. Now, I understand there's about 40 vampire penguins in the United States. And it's a pretty unique place that offers shaved ice, but it's not really shaved ice. Can you tell me exactly what you guys do offer?
Ice is a bad word around here.
Okay.
We use the word snow, but the shaved snow product is something unlike anything you've ever had. It is a lot finer and a lot fluffier than shaved ice, if that makes sense.
Yeah, right. No, that does make a lot of sense. And for the listeners back home, it's kind of it's like a gourmet style snow, right?
Yes.
It's not like your traditional snow cone.
No, not at all. It's flavored, not like where you would typically shave ice and then pour flavor on top of it. So it's a completely different product.
Right. Now, I do have some questions about Vampire Penguin. You and your and the co-owner recently moved to Idaho Falls specifically to open a Vampire Penguin restaurant.
Actually, we came here because he got a job out at INL. And before I would come here, I had to secure employment because I don't like not having a job. So I got a job as a nurse out at the prison camp in St. Anthony. So I had cashed out my retirement. We were going to build a house, and he came up with the bright idea to open a Vampire Penguin. So I wasn't completely convinced that that's what I wanted to do with the money. But we went over it back and forth for a couple of weeks, and one day when I was on my way to work, I had a memory of my son that had passed away in 2011. I remembered that he loved penguins, so it kind of became my final deciding factor on going forward with opening a Vampire Penguin. But I also wanted to always open a restaurant, so we decided to go big. So we opened a restaurant and a Vampire Penguin.
Wow. So not only is this a Vampire Penguin, but you said it's also a restaurant, and that's something that makes it unique. Why did you decide to also make it a restaurant?
Because I've always wanted to open up a restaurant. That's because I think my food's pretty good.
So the things that you offer there, are they your own recipes? Are they things that you personally put together?
The only thing right now that is my own recipe is the pico de gallo that we make and the guacamole that we make. And I personally make those. And now I'm also making Brazilian lemonade. So there's a few things that I actually have to get involved in with the process because I want them to be made a specific way. But we're also evolving our menu so that I can have more input on how certain things are made because I feel like it could use a little bit more pizzazz when it comes to the flavor. And I want people to eat something and be wowed and not just, oh, okay, well, this will fill my belly.
Right. And I'm curious to know what I know your partner is Vernon Glasscock. And why did he want, out of all things, to open up a Vampire Penguin?
I didn't realize all the work that would be involved in actually the operations part of it. He's super excited about the product. He loves the product, and he's really good at making it and training other people to make it. But I don't know what he was thinking. I have no idea why he wanted to open a Vampire Penguin, except for he believes in the product and he likes it. because we'd really only tried it in Georgia, and then we never saw it again.
Wow. And I know it started in California, and it's
Right.
started back in 2013, and it's been branching out ever since. This is the first vampire penguin in Idaho, right?
Correct.
So what?
And the largest in the world.
The largest in the world. I want to talk about that. So it's the largest vampire penguin ever. What was the process like for, contacting the owners and saying, hey, I want to open up this company, and then looking for a place to house this vampire penguin?
Well, we went around to several places. We walked downtown several days and looked at for lease signs, and a lot of places looked vacant, but it looked like people were working on them. So we kind of guessed, yeah, somebody else already got this place. We found a lot of places that we felt like they would be perfect, and they just weren't available anymore. So he was actually getting a tattoo downtown, and he tapped out because it hurt so bad. So he started walking, and I came from the house, and I was going to come pick him up, and he was walking on the west bank of the river and at the Greenbelt, and I picked him up, and we parked the car and decided to walk down the street, and we passed by the building that we're in now, and I turned around and looked, and there was a restaurant space for lease sign. So I'm like, oh my God, this is the perfect spot. And we contacted the number, and we went back and forth for a couple of weeks trying to get the hotel manager to get us a contract that we could look at and try to get us a lease on this building. And we came and visited a couple times, and I showed it to the founders, and the founders were kind of nervous because the space was a little large, because they actually recommend that you get a space that is about 1,000 square feet. But when I saw this place, I saw all the potential, and I just knew that this was the perfect place to do this. The view is beautiful. We've got the Greenbelt right here. We're surrounded by hotels, and it just seemed like the perfect fit for what we wanted to do.
So you said that usually vampire penguins, they recommend it being 1,000 square feet. Your place is pretty darn big. How big is your space exactly?
We were told that the dining room is approximately 2,800 square feet, and the kitchen is approximately 3,200 square feet.
Wow, that's a big building.
And at one time, the kitchen was actually the largest commercial kitchen in, I guess, East Idaho.
Okay. So with that big of a space, I mean, that's a lot of seating area. That's a lot of kitchen area. Not only do you make the snow for vampire penguin and sell that, but you also sell your own food as well. Are there other different events that you guys are going to hold in that space?
We are actually trying to plan a Halloween party. And I was thinking, if that is successful, we'd like to do something maybe for New Year's Eve as well. But we are open to doing, like private parties and things like that.
I'm curious to know, so you got the building, Vernon saw the for lease sign. You went in.
I saw it.
Or you saw it. Okay, so you guys saw the for lease sign. What was the building like? How did you guys turn that building into a vampire penguin?
It was pretty bland. It was gray and white. It was pretty much a hotel lobby, continental breakfast area. And then the kitchen was full of the hotel's property, because I guess they'd been using it to store their extra stuff, mattresses, TVs, lamps, air conditioner units, all kinds of stuff was in the building. and we had to have them remove all of their stuff before we could get started on the beautification, is what I like to call it, of the dining room itself. So we painted, we installed light fixtures, we put epoxy flooring on both sides of the entryways, because there's actually two entrances. There's one on the convention center side, and then there's one on the street side. And it took us, just him and I and one other person that we got from the rescue mission to come and help us. It took the three of us a month and a half to get this building back up to standards to where we could actually open the doors.
Wow. A month and a half between three people to redo the inside of a building to get it open. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, we have been here every single day since the last few days of May, working 12 plus hours every day to make this place what it is now and to keep it up and running. So we haven't had a day off in about 2.5 months, but I'm not complaining because this is what we signed up for.
Right. And I want to talk about, you said that you had three people help you with the interior of the building. And you said that third person you got from the rescue mission. What's the story behind that?
So I'm not physically able to do a lot of the heavy stuff, and Vern needed help with a lot of the heavy lifting and the, climbing up high on ladders and things like that. So he kept telling me, hey, I need help. And there wasn't much that I could physically do myself. So he put his roller skates on, and he was just going to find people on the street that needed a job. And he ended up at the rescue mission. And he brought two guys back with him. And I thought he was crazy at first, but, the two guys went to work. One of them worked out better than the other one. So we kept him on. And during the time that we were fixing this place up, he had other interviews with other places. And I would always tell him, okay, I wish you luck, but at the same time, I hope they don't hire you because we really love having you around. So, the other places didn't hire him, and he decided that he wanted to stay here because we had always been accepting and we never, judged him or anything like that. And he stayed on as our dishwasher, and he still does maintenance stuff and helps us out wherever he can. He will literally drop anything he is doing to help me if I ask him to.
So through this whole process, you guys, wanting to open this business and looking for a place for this business and needing to fix this place up, you've been able to help, people in the community kind of get off their feet. At least you have with this
we've helped them get up on their feet. And I believe that our gentleman that I was speaking about, Alex, is actually looking at getting his own place now and getting out of the rescue mission.
So that's all because you guys decided to open up a Vampire Penguin.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it was a little crazy for us to just jump into this and say this is what we're going to do, but once we were committed and I purchased the license, it was go time at that point. And I really didn't want somebody else to buy a license before I could, so I guess I had a little bit of fear of missing out, and I said, okay, let's do it.
Wow. What kind of impact do you hope to put on the community from this company?
Well, we hope to continue to employ the amount of people that we're employing now. We've actually given 20 local people jobs so that they can have a stable income. And some people, told us that nobody's hiring and they've looked all over the place and they're thankful to have a job.
20 people from the community helping you out.
Yes.
That's cool that you've been able to offer work for those people. Well, you guys can check out.
We create a family.
You have you call them your family.
Yeah, we create a family. It's not just employees. We try to treat people, with respect and just pay them to do an honest day's work, and that's it.
Wow. That's awesome. Susan, we appreciate you coming on the show talking a little bit about Vampire Penguin, why you decided to open it up. If you guys want to check out Vampire Penguin, you can go to vampirepenguinif.com or go check them out at 525 River Parkway in Idaho Falls. And Susan, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Yeah. That was an interview with Susan Lopez, the owner of the new Vampire Penguin in Idaho Falls. They offer unique snow treats and other food options. For more information, you can go to vampirepenguinif.com.